After watching the Changing Education Paradigms video by Sir Ken Robinson, I reflected on my future practice as a teacher and the views I have about aspects on the education system. Something that resonated with me was thinking about students' diversity, not thinking about students in terms of their year level, age, or subjects they do, but having a wider view of their skills, abilities, talents, and subjects that interest them. RSA Animate cites Sir Ken Robinson 2010. Trying to create an environment that is intellectually, socially, emotionally, and physically stimulating to students' development and learning, as well as my views on the approaches to issues or debates involving attention deficit hyperactive disorder within students in my class, and how as a teacher I would cater for students' differences rather than medicating for their differences. Beckel, 2004. Supporting the social, intellectual, emotional, and physical development of students in class by being aware of diversity and differences in students in connection to this overall idea of changing the way I think about teaching students within the education system. Something that resonated with me to use as a tool resource within my practice was The Power of Yet by Carol Dweck, giving students this idea that they have not completely failed but are just not where they want to be yet. Dweck, 2014. So as a teacher one day, I would like to create this growth mindset in my students and encourage them not to give in to this set mindset, but rather aiding their social, intellectual, physical, and emotional development through changing the way they perceive challenges throughout their educational journey. As well as a talk by Angela Lee Duckworth on the concept of grit resonated with me as a resource or tool to use in creating resilience in my students. And as a teacher, in the near future, I would like to implement this idea within the class setting to help students challenge themselves to work hard at their goals and have a growth mindset. Duckworth, 2013. Supporting their social, intellectual, physical, emotional development through placing this concept of grit within class activities, tests, and learning in general. Something that resonated with me for my future practice as a teacher was thinking about how a classroom is set up for 21st century learning, and thinking how a classroom can help students socially develop in the sense of having a classroom that allows them to interact and collaborate and use technology. As well as this progressive form of pedagogy by Kalensis et al. 1990. And using a tool such as a jigsaw classroom to create this progressive form of pedagogy, helping students to socially develop in terms of students working together, as well as intellectually develop in allowing students to think singularly and collectively. The symbolic way of thinking within the pre-operational stage of a young child's cognitive development resonated with me as something that I could use within the classroom. Hoffang et al. 2016. Teaching students ideas of equality and diversity within religion, gender, sexuality, and race, helping students to intellectually and emotionally develop in thinking about diversity of peers within a classroom, as well as socially and physically develop in acting in a respectful way. Something that resonated with me within character strengths was using one of my own character strengths, such as spirituality, to support students' emotional and intellectual and social growth in terms of getting students to consider other students' diverse beliefs and to create an environment that supports equality when it comes to these spiritual aspects by teaching characteristics of fairness and forgiving. Also using a weekly saying to teach kids aspects of character strengths and how they can be implicated into a classroom practice. Something that resonated with me to use in my future practice was exercises that create collaborative environments for students to ask questions and reflect on their understanding of content. Senji et al. 2016. With the example of teaching character strengths through a story and asking students to pick out character strengths within the story, working together. And in doing this within the class, students develop intellectually and socially through exercises that promote active classroom discussion. The academic reading, individual differences, and special needs resonated with me for my future practice as a teacher. Something that resonated with me for my future practice as a teacher was this idea of inclusive education and teaching inclusion to my class to recognize and respect students with special needs or who have mental or physical disabilities, as well as myself as a teacher being aware of these students with disabilities and how to help them intellectually, socially, emotionally, and physically develop through individual education plans within multidisciplinary assessment teams to help create an environment that does not exclude them or differentiate them.